act that fool. Hit him, 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 hit him. Smash him up, watch that move. Went too swift, can't catch these dudes. Hit him, 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 hit him. Listen, 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 hit him, listen. This Eagles talk, this talk Eagles. Philly bleed green, it's from your people. Fly, Eagles, fly. Let's peep the squad. Big Pat shelling, Dante the dark job. Drop the stats on him, drop the facts on him. Spur gang, baby, let's get it on.
Hey fam, it's your man Dante the Dark Knight, and welcome to another edition of Eagles Talk, the most unique Eagles coverage show out there that's by Eagles fans for Eagles fans. And guess what Howie did for us Eagles fans? He went out. Let's just start with a round of applause for Howie. Can we get a round of applause? If what Howie has done these past few days has not gotten you even more excited for this upcoming season, then you don't have a pulse. You don't have there's nothing beating in your chest there if you're not amped up. And Howie has done it again, so much so. And then since I represent the Eagles fan base, only the smart ones though, I don't represent the idiots, but the smart guys, I'm going to react like a overzealous Eagle fan and just mention this. I'm not going to mention the word because I don't do that, but I'm going to show you I'm going to apply what I mean just by showing you this shirt. I feel good. I feel good about this year. I'm not going to say the word, but I'm just saying. I had us at 11 wins. All right, let me just say, Howie, not only did he get us the only position that we said we were weak at, Howie went out and solidified that position. Pat broke it on our group page first, but he went out and got Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, a highly skilled slot corner that has safety capabilities. He plays safety in college. He is like Malcolm Jenkins like. He can do that. I mean, like, he's going to have the versatility to pull off what they asked Malcolm to do. He was a safety that could also cover. This guy is a good cover slot corner, and he has safety experience. And what I like most about him is he's not afraid to put his head in there. He's not afraid to stick his head in there and hit somebody. I remember years past, not too long ago either, we had some corners that back there that we questioned whether they wanted to get physical. Well, we don't have to worry about that with this guy. And I'm glad. And he's going to be inserted right into the starting lineup. I assume. We have to wait and see. But I assume he's going to be our starting safety on day one. And then he didn't stop there either. Howie went out and got rid of our biggest disgrace in the last few years, our first round draft pick, Jalen Reagor. He dumped Jalen Reagor on the very team that selected the receiver we should have selected. He gave him to Minnesota, and now Jalen has to go there and stare the guy who outplayed him and made him look even worse. Justin Jefferson, he has to go over there and play alongside this guy. And on top of that, and I just saw this today, on top of that, he got more for Jalen Reagor than Jerry Jones and the Cowboys got for Amari Cooper. Is Howie is a snake oil salesman. I don't want Howie to call me trying to sell me anything because he'll succeed. He'll succeed. I mean, Howie could call me up and try to sell me additional insurance on my car, and I'm going to give him 2/3. And we'll swap 6-round picks. That's how Howie has me. You know, I'm not doing any type of business with Howie, man. Howie gets over all the time. Yo, I see you guys out in the chat room, man. How do you guys feel? Let me know, how do you guys feel about the moves that Howie has made? And we'll talk about the last one once we start this first quarter. But this is Eagles Talk. We like to talk about our favorite football team, the Philadelphia Eagles. We like to do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. I'm on the wagon, right? But I'm coming off the wagon just to celebrate what Howie has done this week. So I'm going to take a first quarter shot just in celebration of the superb job Howie has done this past week in solidifying this roster. Pat, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking first quarter. I actually got a brand new bottle of Uncle Nair's 1856 premium whiskey. Yes, as you can see there, Uncle Nair's
Ooh,
1856.
Pat's going to celebrate Howie by passing out.
I am not celebrating Howie. I'm celebrating our Philadelphia Eagles. And Penn State football starts tonight. So
that's tonight. Oh,
yes,
good.
Comes on tonight.
All right, great. I'm sorry. I am doing the 1738. 1738. You guys let me know what you're doing in celebration of our Philadelphia Eagles and our GM, much aligned GM, but he came through this offseason. I gotta admit. So here we go. Down the hatch for our Philadelphia Eagles and to Howie Roseman.
Let me get my pour in.
Okay.
It was a fresh bottle. I had to take the plastic off.
Oh, we didn't slap the bottom. You're supposed to tap the bottom.
Oh,
all
yeah.
Right.
There you go.
All right. There you go. All right, so here we go, everybody. Let me know what you're drinking out there. But down the hatch to our Philadelphia Eagles and Howie Roseman. 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the First Quarter.
All right, man. How exciting was that, Pat?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was smooth too.
I'm sorry. That is smooth.
Pat, tell me your feelings. You know my feelings. How was your reaction when you heard the news that we got a safety? And then let's start with the safety because you put it on the page first.
Well, I was very excited that we got a slash. I'll call him a slash because he's a safety. He's actually more of a corner than he is a nickel corner than he is a safety. And his ability to be a playmaker. He gives you that big time cover ability. He can cover in the slot. He can make a tackle on the line of scrimmage, and he can play deep on you. So he brings that aspect that been looking for since we had Malcolm Jenkins. No, he's not Malcolm Jenkins. He's CJ Chauncey. What's his name? he's his own person. So he's going to turn out to be who he is and what he's been doing with the Saints. Now, for him to leave the Saints, it's a big blow for their defense because their other safety just got arrested today.
yeah, I saw that.
So, I mean, for us to pick this guy up, basically right now for a rental for this season, Howie, I'm cold and I'm off and on with Howie when it comes to his decisions, but to know what he does when it comes to this trades to this offseason monster that he's able to atone for his mistakes. I mean, I gotta give it up to him for this because he's a very good player.
Yo, he's traded both of the receivers to the teams that had the receivers that we should have picked. That's gangster, yo. All right, but without further ado, I'll get back into the discussion. But let me just recognize you guys that's in the room out there because you help make this show as much as we do. So we thank you guys for tuning in. And the first person that's in the room tonight is Christopher Burton. He says, "Hey, Eagles family. What's up, Chris?" Tony Burren, our resident from down under in Australia, says it's Howie season. Yes, it is. Brandon Tillery is third. He says, "Who that, family? Make sure y'all take care of our guy, CD."
Brandon, I appreciate you, man.
Thank you, guys. You guys really hook us up when we're looking for safeties. You guys are the go-to people for us. Like, we got Malcolm, and now we got this guy, and I just hope that he can provide the same type of gameplay that Malcolm did. Malcolm was an all-timer in his short period here. Fred is there. He said, "Yo, fam, playtime's over, ready for showtime. 17-0. That's what I'm saying, Fred. You see what I got on here. I'm not going to say the word. But I'm just going to show you my shirt. I'm not going to say the word, but I'm telling you, it feels good. I mean, this feels better than 17. I was looking forward to the 17 season. I didn't think we were going to do what we did, but I felt optimistic after seeing what Hurts did in 16. I saw the potential in him, and then Howie went out and got him some help. Alshon Jeffrey, Torrey Smith, and it all came and along with building that roster because we had a very solid roster there. And I see the same thing happening then. He went out and got Hurts, a big time receiver. We already had Devontae Smith. Our receivers, I think, are better from this year than it was that year. And he built this roster. It's a solid and it's a deep roster, and I just see so many similarities. We just need Hurts to ball out
We do need him to ball out. We need him to ball
like
out
Wentz did.
You need the ball out like Donovan. How about that? Let's not compare him to Wentz. Wentz was a whole different character, monster here with us. We need him to be as efficient, just like Donovan McNabb was. If he can live up to those standards, because those should be the standards for any quarterback coming to Philadelphia to live up to that Donovan McNabb standard, because he set up precedents for 10 plus years. Right? He was consistent, even though he threw worm balls. He was somebody you can depend on. It was always a top 5, top 10 quarterback. All we need you to do is to be the focus on the receivers, the task at hand, let the ball go. Get it to the receivers, make the plays downfield, and be efficient with our offense. If you do that, listen, we got the horses to get to the end of the race.
Look, Keith is on YouTube. You got no sound? You still have no sound, Keith?
He got sound now. I saw it. Yeah,
okay,
up there,
all right.
yeah.
You got sound now? All right, so...
I want to give you this. I want to give you this. You talked about a little bit earlier before you go to the next comment about how good Howie is. Yeah, I'm not smiling. I smile here and there when it comes to this stuff.
Yeah, I saw that.
But I was a little happy about this because we traded Jalen Reagor to the Minnesota Vikings, got a conditional 4th and a 7th. The Cowgirls traded arguably one of the top 5 receivers in the league, to the Browns for a 5th and a swap of the 6th round. So yes, we did way better in big compensation for a receiver who's nowhere
near the talent
Amari
level.
Cooper.
Nowhere near that talent. Howie will sell salt to a slug. He's like Cassidy. He'll sell salt to a slug. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to watch Howie. Howie is the man. Oh, my goodness. Fred said Patrick's still not happy.
But the crazy thing about what he got for CJ, what he had to give up, right? He gave up a 2020. He gave the Saints a 2023 5th round pick and a 2024 6th round pick. He received a 2025 7th round pick for a safety or a corner who if he does well this year, he's definitely getting paid.
He's definitely getting paid.
Yeah.
He's definitely getting paid. I don't know. I hope he's not a rental like Patrick Robinson was that year. Patrick Robinson balled out. He got us a
that was a career year for him.
He went and got his paper.
Then he got injured.
This guy is younger. Yeah, he did. This guy is younger, so he's worth investing some cash in, and you would have to if he balls out this year, because that's why he was even available, is because the Saints were not willing to give him the money he was seeking. So if he balls out this year, he's going to be looking for some money.
Most definitely.
Most definitely. Let me go to some comments. Sean Pinckney is up on the screen. He says the moves Howie has made this offseason are eerily similar to the moves he made during that 2017 season. That season. Yes, that season. Yeah, don't use the word.
I'm going to say this, though, before we go to another comment. We got 4 active wide receivers on the actual roster, right? We brought some guys back to the practice squad, Deion Kane, Britton Covey, and our Olympic hurdler. But we need a punt returner and we need another receiver. We don't have that right now. We really don't.
All right, they have formulated the practice squad that consists of Devin Allen, Coyote, Awaska, running back Kennedy Brooks. I'm sorry, wide receiver Deion Kane. I really like Deion Kane.
When we go through the whole list?
He might even be called up, actually, since we have a spot left.
Yeah.
Safety Andre Chachir, tackle LaRaven Clark, wide receiver Britton Covey, linebacker Christian Ellis, cornerback Mario Goodrich, safety Anthony Harris. So Anthony Harris he's on the practice squad. Wow.
But he wanted to come back. He saw something with his team. He wanted to come back.
Yeah, so he probably could have got a run somewhere else, but I guess he elected to sign to the practice squad. Maybe he likes what he sees too. Maybe that's why he wanted to stick around. DN Matt Leo, quarterback Reed Sinnott, tight end Noah Tagagi. I know probably pronounced that wrong. Excuse me.
Toga.
Center Cameron Tom and defensive tackle Marvin Wilson. That's our practice squad.
You forgot
right
one. You forgot one. Davion Tiller just came back to the practice squad.
You're right. You're absolutely right. This list I'm reading was before that. Yeah, that actually broke today, this afternoon. So, yeah, we have Davion Tiller. I'm happy about that. I thought he was going to be a starter, but wow, he kind of fell off after the beginning of this training camp. But in the beginning of the training camp, the reports came out that he was balling. He was creating turnovers and everything, and I guess that was up until the offense got warmed up. You know, the defense always comes out.
It's up until they put pads on. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
all right. Because when you don't have pads on, you can move around and do these things like it's flag football. Once you put the pads on, and these linemen can put their paws on you for real, it's a whole different story. Also, one more transaction just to let you know, we picked up Trey Sherman, the running back from San Fran, the third round pick. He was a 4-year starter at Oklahoma. He played with – check this out. He played with Kyler Murray. He played with Baker Mayfield. He played with our quarterback, Jalen Hurts.
Oh,
right?
Wow. That's good.
And transferred to Ohio State and had a game against Northwestern when he had over 300 yards rushing. He's not a speed back whatsoever. He is a power back.
Yes, that runs between the tackles. So that might be the big back that we're looking for.
I like that.
All right, that's the end of the first quarter, Pat. Let's end that.
And that's the end of the quarter.
All right, so you're watching and listening to Eagles Talk, the most unique Eagles coverage show out there that's by us Eagles fans for us Eagles fans. You guys in the room, ourselves, Eagles fans, big Eagles fans, and we're going to talk about our favorite football team in such a relaxed manner that we like to enjoy our favorite adult beverage. So please join us, but please drink responsibly. I was doing the 1738. I'm done. I'm all right. I was on the wagon. I'm back on air. But I just had to have a shot in Howie's honor because he did a great job. Pat is doing the Uncle Nearest. What is that?
1856, baby.
1856, which is 100 proof.
This is the real one. Listen, if you can get this out there, compared to the 1886 one, the 1856 gives you that true whiskey. They give you all the notes that you need. It's really, really, really good.
It is. It is really, really good.
And it's smooth.
That 100 proof is really, really going to knock you on your ass if you do too much. And we've had that. We've had that on air too. I remember. What was that? What was that?
Knobs Creek.
Knobs Creek. Yeah.
Knobs Creek.
Yeah. Shell bought some Knobs Creek, and that was 100 proof. And he brought it to the pregame show, and we did 4 shots of that.
Yeah,
the show was off the rails. I'm telling you, the show was off the rails. But Pat, you be careful with that. All right, so here we go.
I ain't going to.
Everybody, raise your glass in honor of Philadelphia Eagles. And down the hatch, 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the second quarter.
Second quarter. Let me open up with some comments. Quavo is late. Dang, I'm late. What's good, folks? What's up, Quavo? You're not that late, but it's all right. I'm gonna excuse you this time. You got a note? You got to bring a note. Put your note in the chat room. It's back to school time. You got to put your note in the chat room so we can see it. All right. David Bennett says, yes, McNabb, thank you. All Hurts has to do is be reliable.
Correct.
Yeah, we're still on that. Very excited about the roster, but nothing happens if they don't go out and do it on the field. And one of the most important proponents of this team this year, a lot is going to be hanging on his play, and that's going to be Jalen Hurts. He doesn't have to carry us, but he's going to have to be reliable, and I always tie the two together because whoever says that the weight of responsibility is going to be on Jalen Hurts alone are not very bright
Yeah,
because it's going to be dependent upon him and the offensive coordinator and the
correct.
head coach and what they give him to run, whether they utilize the plays that accentuate his strengths. And I'll say this because I just read this in an article. I think it was Mike Lombardi or someone said that one of the key things that Jalen has to do is he's going to have to be able to pass from the pocket. We like the way he's very athletic. He gives you that dynamic of being able to run and get yards and make exciting plays. But what we need him to do is show progression in passing the ball out of the pocket. That's what did us in the playoffs. They said, we're going to shut down this run and you're going to have to pass this ball. And he was not able to do it. Hopefully this year they'll put him in position and he has improved enough that he will be able to do it, and that is going to be key. So I
Yeah,
do agree with that.
I do agree. I agree with that 100%. You know, heavy is the head that wears the crown, and we got this guy Jalen Hurts. We got our head coach Nick Sirianni, and we got Jonathan Gannon. These guys right now have to show and prove, and the ability to be better than we were last year. Now, it's one statement that's from the comments from Sean Pickney. He's talking about Emmanuel Sanders is out there. Um, these are older veterans, free agents that we do need to pick up for a kick returner or a punt returner. I think that was a very good statement that he put out there about who we should pick up, who's available at this particular time.
All right, so since Quavo came in late, everybody think they can just show up late. What the hell is this? Jeremiah, you're late too. Everybody just think they can show up late because Quavo came in late. Where's your note? I need to see your note also. Reggie Haynes says, with the receivers we got, Jalen's going to be in the conversation for MVP.
He
I
can
surely
be.
hope so. He can
He
be.
can be. The thing about it is, when you only have 4 receivers on the roster, so now you become more dependent on your tight ends. You become more dependent on your running backs out the field. One thing that Trace Turner does bring from a running back standpoint is that he has very good hands as a running back outside the backfield. So we all put that pressure on Gainwell to be that slot running back that can play the slot in and play running back at the same time. He hasn't improved. He hasn't shown that yet. One thing Trey Sherman can do is actually catch the ball like a wide receiver. He might not have that speed. He runs a 4.6. Where's Shell at? But he does catch the ball, and he is a bruising running back out there.
So could he possibly pick up those goal line rushes?
Yeah, you know what it is? I think he had a lot of jitters learning a new offense, trying to pick up the speed of the pros at the same time being the one that's going to be counted on when the running back went down in San Fran last year. I think this year he's going to his role is not going to be as extensive like it was in San Fran. They're not going to really depend on him to do as much as he did in San Fran, right? You got 3 running backs in front of you: Boston Scott, Gainwell, Miles Sanders. That's going to be dependent to do a majority of carrying the ball, blocking, going out into the screens. All you have to focus on is being that short yardage back. I mean, you can thrive in that position. He can be, he can extend his career by thriving in those short yardage packages. Just look at a similar guy in LeGarrette Blount, right? LeGarrette Blount won about 3 Super Bowls. 2 with New England, 1 with us, but he was never a feature running back. He was dependent on to get short yardage, but he always found holes and made big plays. So if you can take up that position, like when we had LeGarrette Blount, then we might be on something this year.
All right, here's a question for you, Pat. We talked about this in the before we came on the air. You guys, who's going to return? Rocky Foster says, yo, guys, who's going to return punts and kickoffs? Your guess is as good as mine.
So I'm gonna give you the depth chart. The depth chart for punt returner for our Philadelphia Eagles right now. First team, nobody. Second team, nobody. Third team, nobody. Other Kenneth Gainwell, Quez Watkins. That's for punt returner. They have nobody down there for kick returner. So I think Howie is actually trying to figure something out, try to put something together for a particular role for a kick returner. I know
Well,
we
kick
talked.
returner is not as important,
Well,
but we
punt
do
returner
need a
in
punt
general.
returner.
We need a punt returner.
They've taken
No,
the
we
kick
need both.
return out of the game. No, they kick. They go in
Yeah.
the end zone. You barely have returns on kicks. They've kind of neutralized kick returner, and even those that make it inbounds, it's a much different scenario because you have a lot of time to catch the ball and see what's going in front of you. Punt return, on the other hand, it's a skill involved in that.
Yeah, it's a whole different mindset.
There's a lot of it's a lot of heat in the kitchen. It's going down on punt return. So that is something that is very well needed. I mean, we need a punt returner. We haven't had a special punt returner in a very long while.
Yeah.
I think I would say since Deshaun. Really, we
Deshaun
haven't had
Jackson,
a bona fide playmaker in the punt return game since Deshaun.
Brian Mitchell.
Well, he goes back even
Bob
further.
Sakahima, like
Yeah.
you're 100% right. Like, the thing about it is, I said a little bit earlier, we have 4 wide receivers on our roster: AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins, Zach Pascal. I don't want any of those guys fielding punts or kickoffs, right?
Yeah, right.
Any of those guys fielding.
No. They're too valuable
Now,
in other aspects of our game.
Gainwell, maybe. Boston Scott, maybe. But now we're looking outside to get somebody that's going to be a dynamic, because we need that dynamic kick returner, man. I mean, punt returner.
Yeah, we do. Toby Cooper is in the house. Toby, I haven't seen you in a while, unless I'm missing something. But Toby says pressure will bust a pipe. Nick Sirianni and Gannon, 2022 Eagles season. Yes, it's going to be a lot. Is going to be riding on their growth from season 1 of their respective positions to season 2. We've got to see growth from these two guys in order for this team to be successful. We cannot have the same performance out of these guys from last year to this year. Gannon, although he had a top 10 defense, and we talked about this last show, it didn't look like a top 10 defense.
Close.
It didn't feel like a top 10 defense. The only place where it was a top 10 defense was on paper. So we need to see him step it up and be more aggressive, since he has now the tools or the personnel to do what I assume he wants to do, because I can't say that he didn't blitz because he didn't have the personnel. I assuming he didn't blitz because he didn't have the personnel. So now that he does have it, I'm assuming and I'm hoping that he dials up more blitzes and more pressure on the quarterback. Sirianni turned over play calling duties last year. I need him to recognize coming out the gate what our strengths are, and let's attack it from the door. Let's not go 2-5 before we figure it out. We can ill afford to go 2-5. This thing is set up so beautifully for us with the way our schedule is laid out. We have the 3rd easiest schedule. We have 4 cupcake games in the beginning of the year. We can ill afford to start off 2-2 or worse. We need to get out of the gate quick.
You're 100% right about that. We need to get the saddles against these Detroit Lions that's hyping everybody up about this, about the what's the show called? Hard Knocks.
Hard Knocks, yeah.
So they're hyping everybody up about Hard Knocks. I know this the quarter just ended, but you know what? Let's go out there and smack them in their face, right? And wake them up to the reality that this Philadelphia Eagles team are for real.
All right. Oh, no. All right. Well, I'll address this comment once we start the 3rd quarter. All right. So here we go. You're watching Eagles Talk, the #1 Eagles coverage show on Facebook. That's by Eagles fans for Eagles fans, for all of us. And I include you guys in the conversation by putting your comments up on the screen, acknowledging what you're saying, what you guys are talking about. Sometimes we even get our talking points from what you guys are talking about in the chat room. So we like to talk about our favorite football team, the Philadelphia Eagles, and we like to do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage. We ask that you join us, but please drink responsibly. I am out. I was drinking the 1738, which is very smooth.
I'm drinking a quarter of this, man.
Look at it. See, it's just
a half.
it's sneaking up on him.
Yeah,
He has the Uncle Nearest 1856, 100 proof, really good, really smooth, but it will put you on your ass. So he's taking it down a notch. You guys have been letting me know what you're drinking. Continue to let me know what you're drinking out there, and we'll salute our Philadelphia Eagles and continue the conversation in the third quarter. So here we are. I'm gonna just mock it. I don't have anything in my class, but here we are. Look at him. Pat's the young. He's the young gun here, and that's. Oh my goodness, young Thundercat here is taking deep breaths. The Pote is taking deep breaths. All right, here we go.
Y'all saying my name.
Pote. Always say it wrong. All right, I'm sorry. Please
it's all good.
Forgive
brother.
me.
It's
I don't want
good.
I don't mean to disrespect.
Nah, it's all good. I got four more months.
All right, here we go. So down the hatch to our Philadelphia Eagles. 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the third quarter.
All right, so I opened the third quarter with this comment on the screen, and Jeremiah, see, this is what happens when you're late. Might have missed it because I was late. Yep, and this is what you did miss. They didn't release Taylor. They picked Taylor back up. Taylor's on the practice squad
They
right
released
now,
him, got rid of him to add on Ian Brooks, the quarterback from New Orleans that was released. He's a 6-foot quarterback from Notre Dame. They add him as a third string quarterback, and today, maybe 30 minutes ago, we added Davion Tiller to the practice squad, and Davion Tiller actually rounds out our practice squad. We have a deep practice squad. I ain't gonna hold you up.
Yeah, we have a nice.
Some of these guys would have actually been on the actual, on the team if not for the skill set of the players that we have right now.
Yeah, for real. Because I'm surprised that nobody picked up Deion Kane. Deion Kane is solid, dude.
He's 29.
Is he? Oh, that's why he's solid.
Yeah, you know what? He's been around for a little. He's been around for a little bit. So,
but he's still solid though. On a team not as talented in the receiver room as our team is, he might have had a chance. He might have had a chance to make that squad.
I'm sorry.
But we have a very deep wide receiver.
He's 26.
26. Okay, all right. That's a little better. All right, so, he just happened to be competing against a very deep and talented wide receiver room here. But I like him. And if it wasn't for the fact that if he could return punts or if he could contribute on special teams, he probably would be on the 53. But at this point, when you're like the fifth wide receiver, you got to do more than just receive. You got to be able to contribute in another way, such as special teams. And I don't think he returns punts, so I don't know.
No, he does not return punts. This guy's a 4-5 guy. You don't want him returning punts. I mean, listen, he would be automatically the tallest receiver on our team at 6'2", 6'3", right? He has the ability to go high point the ball. We saw it in the 2 preseason games that he has the ability not to run past the corner, but actually get the ball at the high point. We need that in a receiver, right? So now when you have A.J. Brown, you're going to see a lot of slants with this guy. You're going to see a lot of slants with A.J. Brown. You're going to see a lot of dig routes with Devontae Smith. You're going to see a lot of go routes or what we used to call seam routes with Quez Watkins with the speed. A lot of things going to open up over the middle underneath for these receivers because of their skill set. You get the ball in A.J. Brown's hand, he turns into a running back. Deion Kane on the 53-man roster, if he gets promoted, he gives you an extra ability in that red zone to go up there and get the ball over any corner. I swear that I wish we had that prototypical 6'4", 6'5" receiver that not only had the ability to go up, but with the speed and the route running, like a DK.
Wait a minute. We got DJ's twin brother. We got AJ. DK, AJ. They even wrong.
But
We got
crazy
AJ.
thing is, so they played on the same team together, right?
Yeah.
DK and AJ played on the same team together, and they got routed by Alabama by 52 points.
Wow. That was
So it's not necessary just because you got these guys as receiver. It's what the offense was able to do in the course
Hold on,
of the
wait a
game.
minute. Let me rewind that. See, this is you guys missed that. See, I'm calling Pat out. You might as well throw a flag on yourself.
Well,
now look, we open this show praising Howie and the moves he just made, praising Howie on how solid this roster is. And did I just not hear my man say, I wish we had a 6'4" receiver? What? Are you kidding me?
I'll be honest with you.
Are you kidding me?
Listen, Dark
Now
Knight.
that is some typical Eagle stuff right there. We're very optimistic about this team. We think every position is pretty much solid, and Pat is out here like, I wish we had T.O.
No,
motherfucker, wait, like let us play a game.
Don, let me do this. All right, so we've been talking about the offense for the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter. We've been getting on the offense, and as a defensive guy that's 6 foot, right, 6'1", when I see a receiver that's my height or shorter, right, it makes it easy for me. I don't have to be pressured in the red zone. I tell you that right now. Ain't no receiver my height is going to out jump me, right? You might get lucky. I might trip or some crap like that.
Who spot do you want this 6'4" receivers to take? Whose spot you want him to take?
It's not happening.
I'm curious. We talk about one of the deepest wide receiver rooms we've had in a long time, and Pat's like, "Nah, I wish we had a 6'4". No, these guys, they all right, but I wish we had a 6'4".
Pascal is 6'2", and that's NFL standards. He's the same height as me. I'm 6'1". All right, I'm 6'1". Right. If you get me on the pro football field right now, they tell you I'm with
Manuel. I'm with Manuel here. Pat, put the drink down. I'm with. Look, do you hear this?
Man, can we talk about defense though? Can we just talk about defense?
Yeah, we could talk about well, let's report this because somebody else. We talked about it in the pregame, but somebody else just put it in the chat room. NFL Network's Mike Garafolo reports that OT offensive tackle Andre Dillard, Eagles, suffered a non-displaced fracture in his forearm at practice today. The injury is not season-ending. We talked about it. They said he'll play majority of the season, which translates to me that he's going to miss more than like a week or two if he's talking about the majority of the season. It's going to be a few weeks. They haven't put a timetable on it yet, but Andre Dillard is hurt, and like you said, Pat, he's a prime candidate to go on IR, and we could fill that roster spot. So
yeah, he can be a guy where you just put him on you can't put him on PUP. It's too late for that. You put him on temporary IR and bring a guy up from the practice squad, and maybe that is the guy you bring up for the punt return. Like a Devin Allen or Britton Covey or even Deion Kane as your fifth receiver. In this situation, it gives you a lot of leeway because of that practice squad. We just talked about the practice squad is deep. Yeah, I looked around the NFL, and you know what? I saw some names on some of these practice squads, and I realized I looked at our practice squad. Some of these guys that's on our practice squad will be either on the 53-man roster with other teams. My worry is that our practice squad is going to get poached this season. Some of these guys are gonna get picked from these other teams that have these injuries. I swear Howie was working out a trade with Dallas Cowgirls to get Andre Dillard down there. I'm happy he didn't do it, but the Cowgirls need a tackle, and they're scraping the bottom of the barrel with Jason Peters.
Yeah. That's my man. JP is out there trying to get every cent that he can get. He has a Hall of Fame career. He could just sit back and cruise into the Hall of Fame. He's out there trying to get that last penny.
He's trying to get that bag, dog.
Trying to get that bag.
He said, listen, I got this yacht out in the Mediterranean. I need some more money to pay for it.
Yes. Oh, this is good. Jason says, oh, excuse me, BG and CJ on the field together, they're going to get everyone fired up on defense. Yes, if we haven't mentioned, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is a trash talker. And you team him up with our resident trash talker, Brandon Graham, and it's going to be very exciting out on the field, very lively. And I remember seeing a report on Fletcher Cox having to tell Brandon Graham to calm down sometimes. Like, he was like Papa Bear, like, all right, that's enough. All right, you talking too much. Well, imagine Brandon Graham and CJ out there. But Fletcher is going to be like, yo, would y'all be quiet for a minute? Would y'all be quiet? All right, so Christopher Burton says they need to stop practice squad stealing. I hate that.
No, you can't. Because if you do that, I'm gonna be honest with you. If you do that, what happens is you need to increase the actual official roster. All right. So if you increase the official roster, you increase it like 55 or 58, then you create a situation where as though you don't have that poaching. Okay, you don't have that poaching of the practice squad. But in hindsight, right, compared to these other sports where it's more guaranteed money given to players, there are 58 players that you have the guaranteed money to, and that's not business savvy.
Yeah, it's not. All right, that's the end of the third quarter.
And that's the end of the quarter.
Wow, time flies when you're having fun, man. I said that last week.
I'm having a great time, man.
And you guys help make it great because you give us plenty of content in the room. And it's our Philadelphia Eagles. We're never short on something to talk about, especially at this point in the season. And it doesn't do anything but ramp up from this point on. Mm-hmm. In about 2 weeks, we're going to see our team on the field for the first time. Oh, man. And we're going to have a whole lot to talk about. 8 days,
Don. It's 8 days.
Oh, 8 days? Wow.
8 days.
Woo! And we're going to have a lot to talk about.
Right now, Penn State is about to play the first college football, not the first college football game. The second college football, start the second week of college football right now, right?
Yeah.
Thursday. Yeah. Next Thursday starts the first NFL game. Yo, football is back. I know I'm hammered. I tell you right now, I'm hammered. Yo, this Uncle Nearest is serious. But you know what? I'm happy. I'm ecstatic. And I can't wait till we do our live shows.
Oh, yeah. And somebody asked that, too. JT is out there. JT said, JT, you're not fooling me just because you removed the T. I still know it's you. I still know it's you. Yo, yeah, but
Jeremy, I've been in your desert, man. I've been going crazy. Where you at, brother?
All right, we ended the third quarter. All right, so you're watching Eagles Talk, the #1 Eagles coverage show out there on Facebook. That's by Eagles fans, for Eagles fans, where we like to talk about our favorite football team, our team, and we like to do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. I was doing the 1738. I'm so geeked. I'm going to take a sip. I'm going to do a little sip.
Yes. I'm going to take another one, too. I'm going. I'm not going nowhere.
Thank God this is nowhere near what Pat's drinking, so I could do I'm going to do a sip. I'm still geeked about this whole thing that Howie did, and we were already very, very high on this team. And Howie went and improved it, So I'm very, very geeked.
It's like invisible. But I love this. Shout out to my noble Joe McLeish from Saladin down in Maryland. He gave me that in Annapolis. He gave me that a sign when I went down there.
That's a good question, John. We're going to get to that question as soon as we start the fourth quarter. All right, I'm sorry. All right, so I'm doing the 1738. Pat is doing the Uncle Nearest 1856. 100 proof, might I add. So, I'm trying to give him a built-in excuse for this tomfoolery he's talking when he's
listen,
about.
I just saw I literally just looked at the depth chart on a defense, and I got super excited because I want to talk about that, man.
All right, here we go. So everybody raise your drink, and please drink responsibly. And down the hatch to our Philadelphia Eagles. 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the fourth quarter.
All right, so the question was, John Batiste, he says, who is under the most pressure? You guys answer that in the chat room too. We'll discuss it on air. Who is under the most pressure to perform this season? Is it Hurts, Sanders, who's often injured, Gannon, or Sirianni? Who would you say, Pat, is under the most pressure to perform this year?
So before the injury, I definitely would say Gannon, because they gave you all the horses that have an elite. When I say elite defense, Bradbury was an All-Pro in 2019.
Before the injury, what are you talking about?
Hold on, let me finish.
I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
For 2020, Bradbury was a All-Pro. 2022, 2021, Slay was a Pro Bowler. You know, you bring into a guy in Chauncey from the Saints who's a monster going to get the ball. You bring in Kizera White, who had over 130 tackles last season. You bring in a defensive tackle that's 340 pounds who broke the metrics for the scout combine, right? You bring in all these guys. Hassan Reddick had double-digit sacks last year and went to the Pro Bowl, was voted All-Pro. You brought in all these guys on defense to be a catalyst. You have no excuse. But Miles Sanders is in the contract here. We always say Miles Sanders can be this. Miles Sanders can be that. Miles Sanders can be the next Shady, right? I think it's more pressure on Miles Sanders than it is on Jalen Hurts than we think about, because we're looking for the next running back.
Now, hold on. Let's revisit the question. Who is under the most pressure to perform? Okay, all right. That's in line with that.
I was going through the ebbs and flows. Sanders is under a lot of pressure, but of course, the quarterback, he wears the crown. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. You get the ball on 100% of the snaps. You and that center are touching the ball on 100% of the snaps. You have a responsibility that's going to be greater than a defensive coordinator. It's going to be greater than an offensive coordinator. Being that point guard and be efficient with what you're doing is going to be criticized to the T every single week. I think Hurts definitely will have the most on his plate this year.
I am, and I'll show some. I'll put some of the answers up there from you guys in the room. Jason says Hurts, and then he says Hurts by far. Manuel says Gannon. Dayon says Hurts and Sanders. Richard Boo says all four.
Yeah,
all four.
I can agree with that. Rich, I could definitely agree with that, man.
Hurts. Tim Mack says Hurts and coaching Sanders is going to be on the streets. I think it comes down to, I can't even narrow it down to one person right now. So I'll try in my explanation. So I think it's Hurts and Gannon. I think it's Hurts and Gannon. These guys are going to be imperative to our success this year. This defense, you made the case. He has all shiny new toys. He has shiny new tools in his toolbox here. There's not going to be any excuse for this defense being worse than last year. Now, again, they were a top 10 defense, and I said that was on paper only, because when you look at the yards, we were top 10. But when you saw the eye test, didn't say top 10. The eye test said we gave up like 80% completion percentage rate to the best quarterbacks in the league last year. So I know what the yardage says, but I didn't get that feeling that was a top 10 defense. Now he has brand new shiny tools in his toolbox, and with those which you name, Reddick, Hargrave, Cox, Davis, N'Kobe Dean, although he's low on the depth chart right now, but Bradbury, Slay. We have some tools out there now. A very talented linebacker crew, more athletic, more aligned with the way they play offense nowadays. We have linebackers that meet that standards now. So he has a lot riding on his shoulder. We can ill afford not to shut some of these teams down. If we could just hold people, and what was Jim Johnson's number? 17 and below? 17 below.
Oh, he said if you score at least 13 or 17 points, we are guaranteeing you at least less than what's it, 12? I think it was 12 points. I gotta go back and look at it.
We need that type of mentality from Gannon.
We have that though, man. If you look at
we have the personnel. We don't have the mentality. I mean, we talked about it last year. The soft defense that they were playing on the receivers, we need to see more man-to-man. We got man-to-man people out here now.
If I was the coordinator right now, I was the coordinator right now with Avonte Maddox, with Chauncey Gardner, with Bradbury, with Slay, with Epps. Epps is the fastest guy on the field. We talk about safety all the time. Epps is the reason why he's a starting safety and then they refuse to move him. He's the fastest guy on the field, right? Then you got Hassan Reddick. You got Graham. You got Jonathan Hargrave. We forgot about him.
You're making my point. All right, so that's on that side of the ball. Jonathan Gannon has got to do. He's got to take. We need to see just as much as we talk about. We need to see progression from Jalen Hurts from last year to this year. We need to see that same type of improvement on Jonathan Gannon's part from last year to this year. We need to see more aggressive play calling on defense. Then I go over and Jalen Hurts. There's a lot of pressure on him too because they've given him a lot of weapons to work with also. So we need to see his improvement in passing the ball from the pocket, going through his progressions and getting rid of the ball quickly and not having such a quick propensity to run the ball. And I understand it. He's very athletic, and that's what he's used to doing. And when you're in trouble, you rely on what you do best. So I get it. But for us to succeed and go far and deep into the playoffs, we need him to be able to pass the ball through the pocket because they shut down the run. Correct. So I can't say one over the other, but I would say Hurts and Gannon. I know that's probably taking.
But you know what, Hurts
back way out.
Hurts improves each season. Hurts has improved everything from his freshman season into now. He has improved every single aspect. And I only look forward for him to improve. And I compare him to a younger Donovan McNabb. When Donovan got the opportunity to play quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles back in 1999-2000 season, he was a run-first quarterback. Remember the Washington game when he shook the guy out of the shoes? He was a run-first quarterback. The next season, he started to develop a better pocket presence, right? They so happily got to, as far deep in the playoffs the following season because he became a better pocket quarterback. So when you become a better pocket quarterback with that threat to take off at any given time, you leave that defensive coordinator. If I was a defensive coordinator and I knew that the guy on the opposite side of the field can throw the ball like a Joe Montana, or no, let me take that away. Can throw the ball like a Drew Brees, be accurate like a Drew Brees, because Drew Brees didn't have zip on the ball, but be accurate like a Drew Brees, but can take off like a Lamar Jackson or Mike Vick. That would give me fits as a defensive coordinator. You have the ability. If you put it together, if he's able to put it together this year, yes, that MVP conversation will be talked about. But the heights that this team will go is only as far as that quarterback can take us.
And you made a great point, a great case. I just can't decide one over the other. I think the pressure is on both of those individuals to perform better than last year equally. I can't say one over the other. I think Hurts and Gannon have the same amount of pressure on them to succeed this year in order for us to succeed. For this team to have the success, those two guys right there are going to have a lot of pressure on them. Now, hopefully they can live up to it, but I put a comment up there earlier that says pressure busts pipes. Hopefully they don't get busted. I hope that their pipes don't get busted. Pause. Okay. All right. Here we go. Jeremiah says no RPO and let's go deep every now and again.
You know what? I kind of agree with that. I know this is the end of our show, but I do kind of agree with that in the aspect that no more RPOs, but you still got to encompass it in some part of the offense because it does work when you don't use it as a daily part of your offense. If you use it as a like a minuscule part of the offense, and you're doing so many different other things, when you run that RPO, you catch that defense off guard.
Off guard, yeah. If you give it to them in small doses and don't make that the main part of your offense, I agree with you. You can surprise the defense with a couple RPOs sprinkled in there. Susan made a good point there. Sacks. I forgot all about that, but that's one of my biggest things I'm looking for, and that's why I put a lot of pressure on Gannon for this upcoming year because we need sacks. We need to see pressure on the quarterback, and we need to see turnovers. If we want this defense to help us to go deep into the playoffs, those teams that lead the league in turnovers usually do well in the overall scheme of things. So we need to have turnovers. We need to have some sacks out there, and that's not what we've seen in this defense in quite a few years. We haven't had a defense where the other team has been afraid of us, and I would love to see that aspect come back to the Eagles. I don't know if it will, but in absence of the fear, at least give us some turnovers and put the quarterback on his ass every now and again. Yo, hold up. Wait a minute. I got a call coming in. Hello? No, I don't need any of that.
Howie Rosen is calling.
No, Howie, I don't. Howie, I don't need.
Howie,
Right. Okay.
You can say, you know what?
I'll give you a third rounder for it. All right, and a 6. Okay. All right, I'll talk to you. All right. Howie just sold me a bag of bricks. I gave him a 3rd round and a 6th rounder. Howie's very convincing. Look, man, we out of here, yo.
Yo, we gotta have more than 29 sacks this year too. I gotta be out.
Yeah, we gotta have more than 29 sacks. I'm your man, Dante the Dark Knight. Be back here on Thursday because football kicks off next Thursday. So we'll be here before that game talking about our Philadelphia Eagles, even though they don't play them that night. But that will be the kickoff of the NFL season. So make sure you tune in 7 o'clock next week. Same bat channel, same bat town. I'm your man, Dante the Dark Knight.
Before we go, I want to do this. Me and my wife celebrate our 2nd year anniversary on September the 3rd, this Saturday.
You can't even remember. All right, go ahead.
It's the 3rd. I'm sure it's the 3rd. So, baby, happy anniversary. I love you.
Oh, that is so beautiful. Congratulations. And happy anniversary, Mrs. Sandlin. 1 year. Oh, that is so precious. Be back here Thursday. You guys enjoy yourselves this weekend. You love birds, and you guys enjoy yourself with college football kicking off this weekend. Watch the games. Come back here next Thursday.
Insane.
I'm out. Your man, Dante the Dark Knight. Pat, take us out.
We go live in 5, 4, 3, 2. Smash him up, crack that fool. Quarterback, crack, yo, sack.